Before we get into Copilots, we need to talk about first why AI is such a hot topic and what would have driven Microsoft to invest so much into developing Copilots, right? So a lot of small to medium-sized businesses, they have a struggle to find the time, the creativity, innovation, and data needed to grow. So it's not like they don't want to grow, they want to, but it's just that they may have limited resources, lack of time, and an overwhelming amount of data to process, which would hinder their growth. So according to this report, um, 67% of small and medium-sized businesses struggle with thinking strategically or being innovative. And others would believe that they spend too much time looking for the right data or information when they need it. And so AI came about as a solution to help make life easier for people like this, essentially. Now, according to popular culture, it may have influenced our perception to view AI in a negative way, right? And I don't think reaching the iRobot stage with AI just yet, right? So, um, it is a not a is no longer a luxury, but it actually is a very vital tool for businesses looking to scale and to maintain agility, right? So Copilot leverages AI to help businesses stay ahead by unlocking new levels of productivity and efficiency, and it will make certain processes seamless, like data management, for example, right? And with Copilot, you can overcome these traditional barriers and create a more responsive and agile organization, right? Now, AI transformation supports business growth through better productivity, creativity, operations, and data control. And to get the most from AI, it must align with particular business outcomes with clear KPIs such as increased revenue, reduced costs, time to onboard new employees, employee retention rates, cost savings, and operational efficiency. So these are just a few um, KPIs that we can use to leverage AI to get that outcome, right? And then we also have data protection. So, which is very important and crucial for any organization, especially when using a tool like AI, right? So, it allows you to inherit policies that would control how data is disseminated, shared, and managed, right? Now, a lot of people understand the potential of AI, especially with the growth of businesses, but users are very hesitant to talk about it. And according to this report, 79% of leaders believe that AI adoption is critical for for their company to get that edge and to remain competitive, right? And also 80% of employees, they are proactively bringing their own AI tools to work. Now, if you guys can raise your hands to indicate if you guys currently use any AI tools, including ChatGPT, to work, to do your work. It doesn't matter how big or small it can be, right? And actually, when our meeting started, we had a lot of AI entering the meeting to take notes or summaries or recaps. So we know that a lot of you guys are using it, and it is very good. No judgment here whatsoever, right? So you guys could put your hands down, right? So we see and we know that a lot of employees, they are using AI tools to work, but they just reluctant to admit it. And kudos to you guys for being brave to admit that, because there's no judgment here. There's no shame. I know a lot of people may view that as being lazy, but actually it is not. It's actually being proactive, right? So, and with so many users already using these AI solutions to do their most important task, it actually emphasizes the importance and the value of investing in AI tools, especially within organizations. And I'm sure you guys can agree with that, right? So now we're going to go into an overview of Copilot and what exactly it is. Yeah. So we have Copilot for Microsoft 365, right? It's what does it bring to the table? It's integrated into the entire Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So apps like Teams, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Copilot acts as an intelligent assistant that's always ready to help you, right? Now, we're not calling you all dumb when we say is an intelligent assistant, right? It's actually intuitive. It's there to help you anticipate your needs. For example, assisting in drafting, summarizing, brainstorming, or even analyzing data, right? And as we saw in the Microsoft Fabric session, how much Copilot actually helps with that aspect of it. And the best part of it, as I would have mentioned, it's very intuitive and it works with tools that you're already familiar with. So it makes it easier for you guys to get up and get running without any extensive training, right? So you could think of Copilot as um a smarter chat GPT, yeah, that's already integrated with your collaborative tools. And so it's a collaborator. It's helping you to consistently free up the time and the mental bandwidth you would need for higher level strategic thinking, right? And with Copilot from Microsoft 365, you have a powerful, trusted AI assistant that for work that seamlessly integrates all your data across various devices, right? So it harnesses the capabilities of the latest large language models like GPT-4 Turbo, and it combines it with data from your web activity, Microsoft Graph, and everyday apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams, right? It also incorporates rather data from over 1,200 plus plugins, including Adobe, SAP, Workday, and more, right? And all of this is safeguarded by Microsoft's renowned comprehensive security because that is something that is always important and crucial, making sure that everything is secure, right? Now, this advanced context allows Copilot to provide smarter, more relevant responses, which makes it a very indispensable tool for your work, right? I just want to say any questions you guys have along the way, please make sure to put it in the chats and we will try our best to answer it for you, right? But we also have a Q&A session afterwards, right? So what makes Copilot for Microsoft 365 different, right? First of all, Microsoft has invested a lot, being a pioneer in the approach to AI. They have invested a lot in um, managing the cultural shift in the AI era. So they have a dedicated team, about 15K engineers dedicated to the development of Copilot for Microsoft 365. And it has been continuously being improved, right? So there is a focus on driving innovation within this space and how AI works for us, right? Also, we have native integration. So all our AI products are natively integrated into Microsoft 365. So there's no need for any additional setup. It just works. It's a built-in solution. It's not bolt on, right? Also, we have Microsoft Graph, which is a powerful differentiator as it brings in all the relevant work context from your Microsoft 365 apps into our AI. and it will allow organizations such as yourself to receive better AI responses that are more relevant to your work needs, which is very crucial. And also we have a customizable solution. So it's very flexible. um, there are data that would reside in in the cloud and outside of the cloud, and you may have specific customization requests or extensibility needs, right? And these can be easily addressed by Copilot Studio, which is our library of plugins and also role-based solutions. It's very, very, very fun and powerful tool, I must say, right? And with Copilot Studio, you can customize it even further to fit specific needs within your business. So the combination of Microsoft AI, your work data, and the customization options in Copilot Studio makes it a very adaptable and powerful assistant that you can ask for, right? So now we're gonna go into our Microsoft Copilot demo, which Mark will um take us through, right?
All right, thanks, Shania. Just give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
All right, great. So on the boot of my demo. So Shania has went through a lot of key features of Copilot, the advantages the organization can face with it, and how we can integrate with your current tools such as Teams, Outlook, SharePoint, OneDrive, Excel. But today, what I want to do is go through the executive persona of how someone can use Copilot within Teams. I'll touch on Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint once we have time. All right, so to get started, this demo scenario that I brought up here is with Lee and his team. They're in a kickoff meeting discussing what is needed for the new e-bike release. They want to make sure that they capture all the needed tasks, issues, and next steps. So a lot of us, we have Teams meeting every day. Some of us are busy. Some of us have we have double booking where 2 meetings are going on at the same time. What Copilot can bring, and we'll see in the next slide, is by clicking Copilot. Copilot uses the transcript to actually give you a recap of the meeting in real time, right? So for this example, I'm going to click more prompts here. It's upright, and I want to recap this meeting so far. So Copilot will scan the transcript and tell you what are the key topics that the team is discussing right away. So as you can see here at a high level, the key topics are hiring a new bike mechanic, marketing collateral for new e-bike, as well as responding to the RFP from the City Department of Transportation. Right, and we could scroll along here as well. Right, so what else I could do with Copilot? So similar to the other presentations today, you could talk to Copilot as another person. So another prompt I could put is who starts with finding a new bike mechanic? And it would scan the transcript again, and based on that information, it would tell you. Right, so Isaiah starts with finding a new bike mechanic. They agree to drop the general mechanic job description. All right, so what else can I do? I could suggest follow-up questions. All right, so give it a few seconds, and these are some of the questions that I can ask the team. But I have another meeting because I'm an executive. I have multiple meetings throughout the day. I want to leave this meeting and join another one. So I could click leave the meeting and then go to chat. Some of us are familiar with this because we use Teams on a daily, but I could click recap. And while the meeting is going on and I'm not in it, I could review the meeting notes that's going on within the meeting. Right, so that is something like a productivity tool that could reduce my time. I don't have to rewatch the recording or read through the transcript from start to finish. I just want to see the meeting notes. Similarly, I could just go back into Copilot and maybe ask some more questions. Right, so I want to list some action items coming off the meeting. So a lot of meetings is going for hours. I don't have the time to watch the entire recording. I want to know what are the action items coming out of this meeting. I'm not in it. As you could see, my notification is green, but I could see some of the action items coming out of this meeting. Right, and that's just one of the many features of Copilot. Next, I want to touch on Outlook. So just give me 1 second. Let me pull up the demo environment. Right. So a lot of us use Outlook on a daily. So I'll just jump right into it. So for Outlook, the Copilot icon is at the top right as well. But what you want to do is that this user, Lee again, receive an email from Grady Archie. So he's telling me that there's an issue with the quarterly tax return. So occasionally everybody would just click reply and get started. But with Copilot, I could draft the email response, right? So I want to draft up an apology. Copilot is doing it. It's scanning the email and drafting a response based on that. Once I'm satisfied with the response after reviewing it, I could keep it, right? And click send. Right, so that's a simple, easy feature that Copilot can do. Next, a lot of us are, I guess, familiar with being included in an email thread late in the game, and we have to review the entire email thread. Sometimes it's 15 emails back and forth, and we need to catch up, right? So this email thread is of 5 emails back and forth. It looks like there's a bike recall. Lee, as the executive, wants to get caught up in what is happening with this email thread rather than going through each one of them. So you could summarize this entire email thread with Copilot. It would pull the key topics. So we'll just give it a few seconds to pull the summary. And here we go. So you can see the summary by Copilot starts with the user as well as which email it's related to. So for Christy, I see she replied the replacement parts expected to arrive. So if I want to jump to that email, I could just click the number 3 and it will carry me straight to that. Right, but because of this is a recall of the meeting, I need to be proactive and start sending an email out to out any files to customers. So I want to click new email, and I want to draft with Copilot. So what do I want to say with this? So again, you just talk to Copilot as another person, and I want to explain some information here. Yeah, so explain to the customers that the recall of the bike part will impact sold in the last 2 months, right? This might be very vague because you're just saying, we are sorry, we will quickly. So what can I do? So I could actually change the tone of it. So if I want to make it more direct, casual, neutral, formal, or even reduce the length of the draft, I could do that, right? So once I'm satisfied with this, I could generate it. And it's creating a draft in the backend. And there you have it. So I could look through this email, make sure that I'm comfortable with the information that Copilot gave me, and I could keep it. Right. A next opportunity that Copilot could give you is reviewing your draft emails. So a lot of us have drafts that maybe our tone was too tough or too intimidating. So Copilot can help with that. So in clicking the Copilot icon in the top right, you could do coaching by Copilot. So in this persona, Lee was able to go through his email messages in minutes, not hours, right? So allowing him to be more productive. He was also able to improve his customer messaging. So how can I do that? I could see that this email draft, he's super frustrated here. Copilot is telling him that it could be more polite. He could add some empathy to it, right? And that could help us, especially when we're busy and we just want to get the point across. We can use Copilot to do that. Another added feature, because Copilot has been out for about 18 months, there's a new wave 2. I know during, I guess, the November, December, a lot of retail organizations are busy with a lot of emails. You could actually set a priority email. So Copilot scans your emails that are coming in, and you could actually train it to say that, okay, I want my vendors to be a priority so I don't miss those emails. And it would, based on your responses, it will actually mirror your type of tone and be customizable, right? So that will be it for the Outlook aspect of it. If you have any questions as well, you could put it in the chat. All right, so next I want to pull up something that a lot of people use, which is PowerPoint. Just give me 1 second. All right, so for this demo environment,
this thing about accounts responsible for, no. Everybody's supposed to know the area enough. So when accountant asks for something, they can provide it.
I just want to, just gonna mute you for a second, right? All right, so let's continue. So this demo scenario, so in addition to the RFP response, Adele also wants to create an accompanying pitch deck to deliver the city transformation department. All right, so that's based on the team's demonstration that we did. She also wants to incorporate the Adventure Work brand while providing all the details. Her design skills are limited, and she doesn't really know where to start. She only has the completed RFP response document. All right, so to get started, a cool thing about Copilot, everyone is familiar with this page, right? So it's a blank presentation that we click. However, the added feature is Copilot. So Copilot from Microsoft 365, most of the times, the icon is at the top right, right? So what I want to show you is that you could actually reference documents in your OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams to create a PowerPoint presentation, rather than copying it from Word and pasting it and then making the adjustments to Designer, right? So I'll click the View Prompts icon here, and I'll click Create. And I want to create a presentation from a file. So as I mentioned earlier, I could reference Word documents here within PowerPoint. Once it's in my OneDrive, Teams, SharePoint, I have access to it. All right, so I'll click that. And I want to add some more context to the presentation. Right, so I want to create a presentation based on the file using a pitch deck. I want some satisfied with that. I could click Send, and Copilot is generating the entire PowerPoint presentation for me. Right, you could also use the designer to further adjust the presentation if need be. And so I'm going back to the View Prompts icon and see what else can I ask Copilot. All right, so I wanted to give me a specific example how to improve the presentation for pitch presentation, right? Copilot will give you some coaching tips on how you can improve the presentation. It's saying that, maybe you could add some visuals, simplify things. All right, so far the presentation for me would be good, straight to the point. What else can I do? All right, so in click and create, I could add a new slide through PowerPoint, through Copilot, sorry. I could also do it through the normal way, but let's see what Copilot can help me with. All right, so I want to add a slide about the page for Adventure Works Bicycle Company. Right, so Copilot add the slide for me with the image, and if you notice, it also have notes accompanied with the PowerPoint presentation, right? It does that for you as well. So going back into the view prompts icon, I want to edit this page. Maybe this page is too bland for me. I want to see, because I'm dealing with bikes, I want to add an image of somebody on a bicycle. Right, so I could do that through here. I can add an image of and add some more context for Copilot and click send. There we have it. All right, so we could see that you could create a presentation using a file once you reference it within your Microsoft ecosystem. It adds the PowerPoint presentations with the images and the notes, right? So this is some of the ways that we've seen our customers use Copilot for, especially in the marketing department. Maybe they're doing all the presentations, they utilize this. All right, so next I want to touch on Excel. Just give me a second here. All right, so in this demo scenario, AdventureWorks Bicycle is bringing a new e-bike to the market, and Adele needs to do an analysis of which category has the best chance at a profitable and successful new offering. Combining with the marketplace research, she want to draft a proposal for leadership, right? So she's using Excel. All right, so before we start, I just want to point out that to use Copilot in Excel, you need to have your data set in a table format, similar to what you see on your screen. But other than that, once you have it in a table format, you can get started. Right, so we'll start by clicking Copilot. Right, as you can see here, it has some of the key features of Excel. So you want to add a formula, highlight, sort and filter, as well as analyze. Right, so this example, we want to do some conditional formatting by clicking highlight. Right, so it's asking you if you need to highlight some portions of data, it's helping you suggest the prompts to enter in the prompt area here. So for here, I'm going to say format the top 10 sold as green. So this will be related to the bikes, right? So once it's Copilot is doing its process, it highlights the top 10 sold bikes within green. So how can we validate that? We can go to conditional formatting. Those of you who are familiar with Excel, we could go to manage rules, and we've seen that Copilot actually added a formula here. Right? So if you wasn't familiar with how to do the conditional formatting, it actually shows you how. Once you press OK, you could go back to the prompt, the view prompts icon, and we want to create some columns, right? So I want to add a column as well as add more context here within the prompt. So I want to add a column that calculates the total gross profit, counting average warranty cost as a cost. Now, this might be a little vague, right? So those of us who are new to Copilot, we might ask some questions that it might sound weird to us, but Copilot will try to interpret what we said and actually give you some insight on it. Right, so while it's working, we'll see what it comes up with. Right. So it shows the actual formula, and Adele can actually explain the formula to get even more insight, right? So if you wanted to, it tells you what it is, and then if you wanted to explain the formula, you could do the drop down as well as insert the column. So for this example, I'm going to insert the column. So it did the total gross profit here at the top. I want to go back to Copilot as well and put some more prompts. So what are the top 3 models? Because remember, initially, we want to know what are the top bikes that we could push out, right? But if you notice, I'm asking the prompt here for the margin, but margin is nowhere referenced within the data set. So let's see what Copilot comes up with.
Hi, Mark. We
Right?
have like a minute left,
All right,
right?
no problem.
So, if anyone has any questions, um, you can please put it in the chat. And if you guys want a more in-depth view of Copilot and how it can work for your organization, you guys can scan the QR code. I think, Mark, you could put it up when you get a chance,
Yeah.
because
All right.
when
So
this session is over, they might pull us into the main meeting.
all right, no problem. Sorry for going over, guys. But if you, again, should I mention, if you have any questions, you could scan the QR code. What I want to touch on before we leave is the security aspect of Copilot, right? This is pretty important. So I'll skip these slides because Shania actually touched a bit on it. But Copilot is an add-on. If you have existing business standard, business premium licenses, you could have some security controls with that. Primarily business premium, you have a conditional access policy, you have Microsoft Purview, you have sensitivity labels, data loss protection. For us at Darwin, we want to ensure that once we implement Copilot, your organization can use it securely and not share data externally. In addition, for enterprise customers, I know I'm going pretty fast, but bear with me. For enterprise customers, we also have the E5 licenses that includes Defender for Cloud apps that can actually block other AI apps such as ChatGPT. So if you want to ensure that your users don't copy confidential information to ChatGPT, you can do that, right? And these are some of the security controls that we do with the assessment. And I just want to pull up the QR code for you guys, as well as the Copilot dashboard for adoption.